So welcome to the channel, folks. Sadly, I lost all my voice comms on this, so I'm going to do a voiceover. It's part of the filming. It's the way it goes sometimes. It does happen. So you will see me talking, but not lip syncing with what I'm actually saying, which was going to look pretty weird. Anyway, let's move on. So yes, we're at Brixham Yacht Club pontoons. We're going to make our way onwards towards Dartmouth, where we're going to stay at several places within Dartmouth. Quite a bit of a lumpy day today, so when we get round Brixham Breakwater, it's going to be pretty swelly. It's uncharted for us. We've never been here, so we don't know what to expect. But first off, we're going to head to Town Quay to fill up with some water and get rid of some rubbish and get ourselves all prepared, ready for the next onward journey. Um, I'm going to leave the pontoon first, and Steve's going to leave behind. We're going to take a slow cruise through Brixham there and get ourselves all sorted. I should give you a bit of a view of the chart in a moment, and we'll discuss where we're going to go from there. So here's the chart that takes us from Brixham round to Dartmouth, the River Dart, in a westerly direction, and we plan to stay at several places on the River Dart. Plan to stay at Dartmouth at the town, then heading up towards Dittersham, and then off to Stoke Gabriel as well. There's a more of a detailed chart to see that highlights in blue more of the available anchorages, mooring buoys, and pontoons available. Especially at Dittersham, there's 18 buoys, we believe, um, and there's plenty there. So it's a rainy old day leaving Brixham. Um, got all the wet weather kit on because we're going to have to get outside the boats. Reversing off the pontoon. It was a lovely stay. There wasn't too much swell or anything like that, even though you're next to a fishing commercial port. Noise was very limited. There wasn't much noise, so I was over the moon with that. Honestly really thought that being a working seaport for the fishermen that you'd hear a lot of noise, but you actually didn't. So it was a welcome stay at Brixham Yacht Club. I do recommend going to their pontoons and staying a night, and it's a very welcoming club as well. We're just going out through the mooring buoys and heading towards the town quay. Hopefully, as you can see in the distance, there is some brighter skies, so it does clear up later on. As you can see now, we're heading towards Town Quay. On the starboard side, you have the quay side for the fishermen. Absolute mill pond at the moment within the harbour walls. Total different story outside though. And we're nearly coming up to the town quay now, where you can see that there's quite a few boats in front. There's a few tall ships. There was 2 or 3 in when we was there. There was not too much traffic around on that particular day. As you see, it's raining still, so I think a lot of people were not bothering going out boating when we left. On the port side is Brixham Marina. I was just looking for a space to stay. There wasn't many. They was all occupied, but we did manage to find a little spot we could get into to fill up with some water. As you can see now that I'm just sussing it out, backing off and looking for space. I noticed that there was one the other side of the pontoon. You can see Selena Marie, sussing out as well. And we've come to the decision that actually the one for me was better on the port side of the pontoon. Sorry, starboard side of the pontoon, and Steve was better on the uh, port side of the pontoon because the space was slightly bigger. So that's what we did. We rearranged ourselves and managed to get alongside. So we're alongside now. I've hooked up the water hose and start filling with a bit of water when I get the actual opener open. Takes me a little bit of time, bit of messing about, but we finally do it. Quite a strong hose, water hose, filling up. Sometimes these are a little bit weak when you get onto the pontoons, but actually this one was really strong actually. Quite a wide pontoon, as you can see, um, and there's electric as well if you so wished to use it. So you'll see that in a minute in the picture that we had loads of rubbish to get rid of, and yeah, you see the bags there, look, loads of rubbish. So got rid of those, filled up the water, and then we set off. So we're now leaving Brixham, heading towards the breakwater, then breakwater, where we will take a starboard turn and head towards Dartmouth. We're following the buoyage out on the way out, although we were more towards the centre of the channel as we left Brixham. We followed the yacht pretty much all the way out. There was no rush. We was quite happy just taking our time uh, as we left. Starting to get a bit more brighter as we left as well, which is quite nice. And as you can see, it's still quite flat in the harbour there, so which is all good. Soaked up the last of the scenery as we left. Absolutely a nice scenic sort of place to as you come in and out of Brixham. There's new boats, old fishing boats. There's all lots to see. So we're nearly at the end of the breakwater where you can see the end of, and you can see that we're going to take a starboard turn shortly. So as I said, very calm in the harbour of Brixham, but when we made the turn, heading towards Dartmouth, then yeah, it was quite rough. It doesn't always do it justice when you video in rough weather. It really was lumpy, taking plenty of water over the front of the boat at times, really getting rocked around. But we kept uh, cracking through it, taking our time. It's uncharted waters for us, so we're just making sure we're on the right track and keeping ourselves safe as we went through. So as you can see in front of you is the River Dart, and it was a welcome sea, to be honest. Yeah, it was nice to see it. It was nice to get out of the roughish weather, although it was still a little bit lumpy heading towards Dart, but it was okay. As you approach Dartmouth, you'll see Kingswear Castle, which is an artillery fort built to protect Dartmouth. It was constructed between 1491 and 1502 in response to the threat of French attack as one of the first purpose-built artillery forts in Britain. By the end of the 16th century, however, improvements in the range of artillery weapons have reduced the utility of the castle. It took part in the English Civil War and continued to be armed until the early 18th century, but fell into ruin. It was restored as a summer house in 1855. In the 21st century, it is managed by the Landmark Trust as a holiday let. There were other interesting buildings and features along the route into Dartmouth Harbour, as you will see. As you can see, I've sped up the footage as we go into the harbour. Uh, we opted to try and find a pontoon on the shore side. There was nothing available we could see, so we headed towards the anchorages. And just as we got anchored, the harbour master came over and said to us, actually, there was pontoon availability on the non-Walker shore if we wanted it. So we up anchored and took that offer up. So we arrived at the pontoon, a nice wide pontoon, and there was plenty of space available. There were several pontoons up at this end. Up there in the distance, you see one of the ferries, which is the upper ferry, and there is a lower ferry towards Dartmouth town centre itself. Uh, Over across, there was more pontoon availability, but not for us on that day. Quite a bit tidal tidal stream as it comes through. In the very far distance there, you see me pointing, is a railway track, which you'll see shortly. Some nice trains go through to keep you occupied. There's lots going on in Dartmouth, and it's well worth a visit if you get the opportunity. As I said, there's plenty of moorings available, a berthing available if you need to. And if you'd rather go for the cheaper option, you can anchor up as well. So this is a picture of the lower ferry at Dartmouth. Interestingly, it's used by a tug to tow the barge across, which is very interesting watching how they do it. They're very skilled people doing it. I love watching it and seeing their skills. Word of warning, if you're looking to get a Sunday roast in Dartmouth, it doesn't exist, no one does it. So we opted for the fish restaurant, and we had white bait for starters, and then a seafood platter shared between two of us. It was absolutely gorgeous. So we finished our Sunday afternoon with a few bottles of wine and some good food.